All right, friends, we are back. We are going to read chapters 6 and 7 of Ghost Town at Sundown. Chapter 6, Split the Wind. The sky was dark by the time they got to the rise. The wind was cool, almost cold. "Whoa," said Slim. Dusty slowed to a halt. "They're camped down there," Slim said in a low voice, "in that patch of trees." Jack saw a campfire at the bottom of the slope. He saw the horses gathered in a dark clump. One let out a loud whinny. "Hear that?" said Slim. "The mare. She senses sunset nearby." The mare whinnied again. "Sounds like she's tied to a tree," said Slim. "I think the rest of the herd are loose." "What's our plan?" whispered Jack. "Smiley, you stay here and guard Sunset," said Slim. "Right," said Annie. "Shorty, you and I ride down near their camp," said Slim. "You keep Dusty quiet while I cut the mare loose." "How do you keep a horse quiet?" wondered Jack. "Once the mare's loose, she'll break for Sunset," said Slim. "Then you and Sunset take off, Smiley." "Got it," said Annie. "Then we'll split the wind," said Slim. "What's that mean?" wondered Jack. "Till we get to Blue Canyon," said Slim. "Where's that?" wondered Jack. "All set. Any questions?" asked Slim. "Nope," said Annie cheerfully. "Yup, about 1,000,000, thought Jack. "Okay, partner," said Slim. "See you soon, Smiley. Come on, Shorty." "Have fun," said Annie. "Fun?" thought Jack. "Is she nuts? Our lives are at stake." Slim snapped his reins. Dusty started down the rise. Their way was lit by a nearly full moon and 1,000,000 stars. "Maybe now I can ask Slim some questions," thought Jack. But just then voices from the rustlers' camp. They were mean voices, followed by mean laughter. A chill went through Jack. Dusty halted. "It was far enough," whispered Slim. He slipped off Dusty. "Keep him here," Slim whispered to Jack, "and keep him quiet." "Wait," whispered Jack. He needed more information, but Slim was gone. Jack gripped the reins and held his breath. He hoped Dusty wouldn't do anything. For a moment Dusty was still, but then he snorted and began walking. "Oh no," thought Jack. He tried to think of the rules on how to treat a horse. He remembered a soft hand, a firm voice. He patted Dusty softly. "Whoa," he said firmly. To his surprise, Dusty froze and was quiet. Jack remembered another rule, a sunny attitude. He patted Dusty again. "Don't worry," he whispered. "Everything is going to be fine." Just then a loud whinny came from the herd of mustangs. They began moving up the moonlit slope. "Hey, the horses!" a rustler shouted. A gun went off. Jack ducked. "Come on, Shorty," came Slim's voice. Jack looked up. Slim was riding the mare. Jack was shocked. He thought that Slim was coming back to ride Dusty. Instead, Slim rode right past him. As he got close to Annie, she took off on Sunset. The mare galloped after Sunset, and the band of mustangs galloped after the mare. Bang, bang! Jack snapped the reins. "Go, Dusty," he said. Dusty leaped after the mustangs. Jack nearly fell off. He clutched the reins in one hand and the saddle horn in the other. Bang, bang! The rustlers were on their horses now. They were getting closer. "Hurry!" Jack cried. Dusty cleared the rise in an awkward leap. Jack started to slip out of the saddle. He let go of the reins and tried to hold on to the saddle horn, but his weight pulled him down. He closed his eyes as he fell to the ground. Bang, bang! "Oh man," thought Jack, "this is the end." He opened his eyes. Dusty was looking at him. Jack scrambled up and tried to climb back into the saddle. It was hard without Slim's help. As Jack struggled, he heard shouts from the rustlers. The horses gave high-pitched neighs. Jack looked back. A shimmering white figure was moving across the top of the rise. The rustlers' horses were panicking and backing away. Jack didn't have time to think about what he was seeing. He knew it might only be his only chance to escape. Using all his strength, he pulled himself into the saddle. "Go, Dusty, go!" he shouted. Dusty took off at a full gallop over the prairie. Jack held on for dear life as they split the wind. Chapter 7, Ghost Story. Jack bounced in the saddle. He felt the cool night wind against his face. He couldn't tell where they were going, but he trusted Dusty to follow the others. Finally, Dusty caught up with the herd as they began to slow down. Jack snapped his reins. Dusty came up beside Slim and Annie. "Howdy," said Slim. "Howdy," said Jack. "Howdy," said Annie. "Are you okay?" Jack pushed his glasses into place. "Yep," he said. "You?" "Yep," she said. "That was some good riding, Shorty," said Slim. "Thanks," said Jack, smiling. He even liked being called Shorty now. "Where are we headed, boss?" Jack asked Slim. "Blue Canyon," said Slim. "Okay with you?" "Yep," said Jack. "This way," said Slim. He slapped his horse and they all sped up again. Slim steered the herd to the left. Soon he led them through a deep, narrow pass. Finally they came to a boxy open space. surrounded by walls of rock and lit by moonlight. "We'll corral the Mustangs here in Blue Canyon," said Slim. He got off his horse. He helped Jack down. Annie slipped off Sunset. "Take him to his ma," Slim told Annie. Annie led Sunset to the mare. In the moonlight, the two Mustangs rubbed against one another and neighed. As Jack patted Dusty's damp neck, he remembered the last two rules, praise and reward. "Thanks," he whispered to Dusty. "You were great. You were super great." Slim unsaddled Dusty, then handed Jack his saddlebags. "Take those over to that grassy spot. We'll camp there," he said. As Jack carried the saddlebags, his boots felt stiff and tight. His legs were sore and wobbly, but he didn't mind. He threw down the saddlebags in his backpack. Then he flopped himself down. He was very tired. Annie joined him. "They seem to be so happy to be free together again," she said, gazing at the moonlit Mustangs. "Yup," said Jack. He lay back, using his backpack as a pillow. He looked up at the stars. "If we just had the answer to the riddle, everything would be perfect," he said. "Yep," said Annie. "Hey, Slim," he called. "I have a question for you." "Shoot," said Slim. "Do you know the answer to this riddle?" Jack asked. "Out of the blue, my lonely voice calls out to you. Who am I? Am I?" Slim was silent for a moment, then said, "Sorry, Shorty, don't know that one." Jack's heart sank. "That's okay," he said. "We don't either." "I have a question too," said Annie. "Why does the piano in the hotel play by itself?" "I do know the answer to that one," said Slim. "What is it?" said Annie. "It's Lonesome Luke," said Slim. "He's a ghost of a cowboy who wanders the prairie." Jack sat up straight. I saw him, he said. "I just remembered. He scared the rustlers. If he hadn't come, I never would have gotten away." "Oh, yeah?" Slim chuckled. "Well, lucky for us, Lonesome Luke sometimes likes to help folks out." Slim threw his saddle down next to Jack and Annie and sat against it. "Years ago, Lonesome Luke had a gal who he was just crazy about," said Slim. "She couldn't take the Wild West, though, so she went back east." "What happened then?" asked Jack. "Luke went loco. Every night he'd show up at the hotel and play the piano. He played Red River Valley over and over and over. And then one night he just vanished into the prairie and was never seen alive again. His bones were found a year later, but folks say his ghost returns to the hotel to play Red River Valley. It goes like this." Slim took out his harmonica. He began to play a song. It was the same sad song Jack and Annie had heard at the hotel. Jack lay back down and listened to the lonesome tune. A coyote howled in the distance. The horses stirred in the dark. "I better take some notes," thought Jack, but he didn't write a word before he fell asleep. He didn't even take off his boots. All right, friends, we will continue with that tomorrow.